Well, speaking of, Bryn, what are you paying attention to out of all of this? How are you thinking about this sell-off? Phil said no surprise that if this was going to happen, the stock was going to sell off. Why don't you opine on that, too?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, what a mess. I will say that if you read Walter Isaacson's book, obviously, and we've all seen this, Elon Musk, as brilliant as he can also be mercurial and impetuous. And I just think we have next week the cybercab rollout, and this is putting just such a cloud over that, and really self-inflicted because he, started this. And sometimes the best thing to say is nothing. And so when I sent my notes over earlier, I was like, well, 303 is support. Well, it blew right through that. So now from a trading perspective, I think the stock could easily trade down into the 250s, 260s until you get some support. And then what you need to have happen over the next few days is because you need to have a really positive rollout next week. I mean, that's what a lot of people are excited for. And although that cybercab will be a small rollout, this just puts a cloud because I think Phil summed it up perfectly. President Trump, there's only one president, it's President Trump. He can make things incredibly different for all of Elon's companies, which definitely need the government support in a host of different metrics.
Phil, it's so interesting on so many levels, as you and Bryn have already laid out, not the least of which is the brand damage that Tesla has already suffered because of Musk and Trump already being besties up until this falling out that we're witnessing literally in real time, and questions that will still persist as to whether that brand damage is more lasting than not.
And it's hard to know how that will shake out, Scott. And I don't mean to give sort of a wishy-washy answer there. Do I think that there are people on the Republican or the MAGA side of things who will see this spat and say, you know what, I'm not a fan of Elon and I'm not going to buy a Tesla? No, I don't think the back and forth over the last 24, 48 hours is enough for somebody who is looking at Tesla to say, I'm not going to buy Tesla. But there's no doubt that brand damage, it is there. And the question is, what's it going to take to get people back to looking at Tesla as an electric vehicle, as a leader within electric vehicles, as opposed to an Elon Musk product? That's really what has to happen. And it's going to take time, Scott. It really will take some time. And as long as you have this back and forth, it just keeps it out there. And it just raises more questions for people who might be interested in buying a Tesla.
There's so many different investing angles here, AK, not the least of which, as the prior program showed you, that Destiny Tech 100, the closed-end fund that focuses on pre-IPO tech companies. We see it down a lot because SpaceX is 52% of that. We could show the ARKK, Kathy Wood, of course, her innovation fund. What's the number one holding? Tesla. The ARKVX, what's the biggest holding there? SpaceX. So there are ramifications across the investing universe here, not to mention those in some hedge fund corners who have really leveraged themselves to the story of Elon Musk and what he has built and what they believe he will continue to build. I'm curious, AK, your reaction to how all of this is unfolding. I'm not sure people necessarily are surprised at the falling out, but they may be surprised at how publicly acrimonious it has become so fast.
Yeah, everybody watching Elon Musk's partnership with Donald Trump thought the long-term risk was maybe at some point a Democratic administration comes in and starts to look at Elon's companies the way Elon has been looking at parts of the United States government and maybe doging, SpaceX or Tesla or causing problems there. This is the unexpected part here. When Elon Musk left the White House, the general commentary was he's gone, but he and Donald Trump need each other so much that it was notable that it was like fairly friendly parting. But today's different. I think Elon Musk today has crossed a line that's going to be very difficult to pull back from because he suggested that Donald Trump would not have won that election without him. And so now this stage of this partnership is really unpredictable and has sizable, negative potential for Elon and his companies and all of the things that Phil mentioned. And we also see, like you mentioned, there is a potential downside here with SpaceX. They're in play. The one thing you would say if you're on the Elon side is, look, SpaceX is an important partner for the government, and the government does need this company. So it's not as easy to, as you would think, to just shut it off. And that's why Elon is saying, make my day. But Elon's playing with fire here, and there could be some serious negative consequences for him and his company, given who's sitting in the White House right now.